From the beginning of time, man has always had a pursuit of the best quality of life possible. That quality of life is not possible without resources. The form of resources we have accumulated has changed over time from cowrie shells, state-controlled money, precious metals, real estate, and stocks and bonds. Over the past 100 years, the world has been dominated by the US dollar and its reserves. But everything that has a beginning also has an end. A new financial revolution is upon us with the emergence of a digital economy. The way we earn, spend, and accumulate resources is fundamentally changing. A new asset has appeared that the wealthy have overlooked. Bitcoin has become the best performing asset of the past decade by far. With only 21 million ever in existence, there are more millionaires and billionaires in the world today than there are Bitcoin. Just by holding 0.25 Bitcoin today will put you in the top 1% asset holders in the world in the next 5 to 10 years. If you would have invested $100,000 in Bitcoin in 2013, today it will be worth more than $15 million. Bitcoin billionaire Raoul Pal says, Bitcoin's performance is so dominant and so all-encompassing that it is going to suck in every single asset narrative dry and spit it out. Never before in my career have I seen a trade so dominant that holding any other assets makes almost no sense. This is not an industry you can afford to ignore. If you want to remain in business, then you must adapt. Are you offering services in Bitcoin? Are you accepting payments with digital currencies? Have you adopted blockchain technology? Blockbuster Video at one point was the most dominant video service in the world. They had the opportunity to be part of Netflix, but they ignored the changing technology. Where is Blockbuster today? Where will you be tomorrow?
All right. Welcome. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Early Morning Crypto Talk. Bitcoin Brandon from Los Angeles, California. Go ahead and type in the chat box where you're listening in from, as I make sure I can pull you guys up here. All right. As a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be giving any financial advice. It is up to you to make your own informed, intelligent decision on whatever direction you want to move into. I see we have Adolph Hayes. Good morning. Marnita Casa. Dorothy Mays. Good morning from Greenville, Mississippi. Steve Randall, Memphis, Tennessee. Mike Nowalski from Jersey. Good morning. See, Elijah Morgan is also watching. Well, it is Saturday. Yeah. Martha from Cancun. Yeah, I'm on StreamYard, so it's automatically recording. It's only on Zoom when I have to be reminded to hit the recording button. All right, another week has passed. You guys survived another week. I see you, Anissa from Fresno. This is an exciting and intriguing time to be alive. Those of you in crypto are like, well, the crypto markets. I don't understand the crypto markets. Barry White. Hey, Barry, you're going to want to listen to this one today. Carolyn from Omak, Washington. Welcome, Carolyn. See Barry from Chicago. I'm going to be working on a project with Barry, and it kind of ties into the topic for today. All right, let's first look at the crypto market cap, and then I want to jump right on into this because this is a topic that has literally changed my life this past week, and I can't sleep. So let me first share screen. See you. Good morning from southeastern Oregon, Mr. Calvin Ellerby. Are you off that cruise ship yet? Very, very successful, Mr. Ellerby. Okay, so let's see what's going on in the market cap now. I got to go by week to week because this is a public crypto talk. We do crypto talk every day except Friday, but the other days is just for the inner circle. Today on Saturdays, I do a public for everybody so that you can at least once a week still be plugged in and still know that we're here. I haven't gone anywhere and we're still rocking and rolling. So, wait, let me refresh this. Let me make sure I'm seeing this right. Okay, yeah, crypto market cap is at 958 billion. It is down 2.3% in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance 38.3%. Ethereum is at 16.3. Those of you in the inner circle earlier this week, we had one day dedicated to learning how to read the charts. So I hope you guys have been following suit at least 3 times a day and you see the changes. Remember the day we did it, the market was flatline. So when you see changes, you know why, and you're able to see what's going on. We've got Bitcoin at 19,100. I thought we had a little bit of bounce the other day. You see this where it dropped and then bounced back up, and that was coming back down again. So it could not breach that $20,000 mark. Ethereum down 2.5% in the last 24 hours. Let's go by the past week. Bitcoin's down 1.6%. Ethereum is down 2.7%. BNB is down 4%. Ripple is down 5.8%. Cardano is down 13.4%. Solana is down 8.9%. Doge 4.9%. Polkadot 3.6%. Shiba Inu is down 7.3%. Polygon Matic is down 3.5%. Avalanche down 6.7%. All right. Best coins over the past week. Huobi 73.2% up in the last week. So Huobi has been breaking the trend from the rest of the coins. Who else is breaking the trend? Quant up 33.8%. Fracshare 22.4%. Do you know how difficult it is for these coins to have a significant rise, especially double-digit green in a bear week? Tokenized exchange up 19.8%, Qcoin 10.5%, Maker 10%, Airweave 9.6%, Osmosis 8.5%, Leo token, OKB, Trust Wallet. That's interesting. Bitcoin SV, Gate. All right, and then the worst performers. Clayton's down 23% on the week. Chili's is down 18.8%. eCash 17.2%. Ethereum Classic 16.2%. Internet Computer 15.5%. All right, ApeCoin's down 12.3%. Axie Infinity's down. Yeah, all the DeFi tokens are having a rough time. Solana's down 8.9%. Helium. So we'll see what this new week brings. Here's a hint of what you want to look for. Tomorrow, Sunday night at maybe about 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern time. You want to be watching the reports because the Asian market should be about waking up for Monday morning, and the rest of the markets kind of react to what starts off in Asia. So we'll see how the week's going to start off. The rest of us will see on Crypto Talk on Monday morning. All right, now I want to get into. Let me share this real quick. Let me stop sharing the screen. Okay, it's known that I am a crypto guy. Right? Bitcoin Brandon. I didn't always start off that way. This year I celebrate 24 years in the direct selling industry. And for 13 of those years, I've had great success. But I only recently changed my career from the direct selling space with network marketing, building other companies, into the investing space in cryptocurrency. And what made me have that change, it didn't start off the way I am now. My initial desire was, oh, wow, people are making money in this thing. I need to get in crypto so I can make some money. Am I the only one who thought that way, or did you guys think the same way? Let me repeat that. When I saw this crypto, I've known about Bitcoin since 2010, but I did not engage until really 2017. And the only reason why I engaged was because people I knew, I saw were getting involved in crypto and making a lot of money. And I said, whoa, maybe that's something I can get into and invest with. I didn't understand what it was. I didn't have an appreciation for what it was doing. And then I decided to do some research. So how many of you, if that story is the same as you, say me too in the chat box. Are you the same? Was that the same story for many of you? You got into it because you wanted to make some money. You saw other people making money and they're promoting it all over social media. But then I decided, let me learn about this. Let me see what this is all about. And the first way I could learn about this was asking people that I know that were in it questions. So I started to ask them questions. And they couldn't answer my questions. One guy got so frustrated with me. He was like, Brandon, man, just do what you do. Bitcoin, we making money off of this. Bitcoin keeps going up. And I was like, how do you invest in something you don't, the Bitcoin just keeps going up. So I said, okay. Let me go to YouTube and Google. That was the only other source. Big mistake. Unless you are persistent, like I am, because I'm like a dog on a bone. When I get my head wrapped around something, I spent 6 months on Google and YouTube doing my own research, not taught, my own research for 6 months. And in that process, I realized that 50% of the information that I was receiving was wrong. It was incorrect. However, I did learn 2 things that completely changed the course of my life. Now, I talk about all the time how cryptocurrency represents the greatest economic shift in wealth in the history of mankind for the most amount of people. And that is a key part of it. But that part represents looking at it from a money standpoint, a financial standpoint. It's the other part that I'm really starting to get. It's interesting to say that. Not back then, but really now. It's blockchain technology. See, there is no crypto without blockchain technology. Blockchain technology is going to disrupt every single industry on the planet today, whether you like it or not, believe it or not, trust it or not. Your opinion of it is irrelevant. It's going to happen. I've always known that, but it went to another level this past week. But that alone, I made the decision to completely change my career. And I became full on in crypto. And the rest is history. You know what I've done since then? Created crypto courses, universities, consulted for different companies. And then we started our own business, Ivy League Crypto Academy, where we want to take it to a whole nother level. But this week, I had another aha moment. And that was my aha moment back then. You've heard me tell this story hundreds of times. But I had an aha moment this week live in front of our community. Live in front of our community. I was reading an article and it's like a punch in the gut. Or a punch in the gut or a fog in your head just goes away. And then everything becomes clear. Have you ever experienced that before? Where it's like you're walking through a fog or a mist in your brain and then all of a sudden clarity happens. You might be reading a health and wellness book or a personal development book, or you might be in church and the pastor says something that you've heard him say over and over and over again. But for some reason on this day, it seemed like the pastor was talking to you and you got it. It's like you finally got it. That's what happened to me this week. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's always a story I tell about the river of money. The river of money always changes course, and the blockchain technology and crypto is forcing the river to change into this direction. But the blockchain industry itself is massive. It is huge. So it's hard to pinpoint just where that river was going to, what street it was going to flow down. And if you've been following crypto for the last 5-6 years, you know every year there seems to be a new flavor of the year in the crypto space, the new hottest thing to do in crypto, from mining to staking to trading, then trading bots and ICOs and IEOs, and then DeFi, and then smart contracts, and then all of a sudden the compounding programs where people want to put $1 in the machine and pull 3 out at the end of the week without doing anything, make money without recruiting, guaranteed 3% a day, 3% a week, 3% a month, all of that stuff. There's always been a new hot thing every year or every other year. And I knew going in this year, I told everybody at the beginning of this year, I said the next flavor is going to be DeFi, NFTs, and Metaverse. So this is not like I didn't already know this. It's just the light bulb didn't go off of my head yet until this week. And this week, well, actually a couple of weeks ago in front of you guys, I read an article. It was by J.P. Morgan. You know J.P. Morgan because I was covering Jamie Dimon. And I've been doing a series called The Crypto Storm is Coming, Getting Prepared for the Financial Crisis, not only in the traditional markets, but also in the crypto markets, where most people in the crypto that are not educated are going to get wiped out. A lot of businesses as well. They're going to get wiped out by this because they're not going to see it coming. They're not going to know how to shore themselves up. They're not going to know how to protect their assets. And I mean, I'm already doing that series. I'm not going to rehash that today. But in that series, Jamie Dimon popped up because he was once again being very critical. But at the same time, he was also sending out a warning. He says that there is a hurricane in the financial markets that's coming, that's going to be bigger than we have ever experienced. And then he said that JP Morgan is prepared for it. And then I started looking at what is he doing to be prepared for it. Did you know that he is about to cut all credit cards from JP Morgan? You don't need to believe my word. Let me briefly show you. And if one of the largest banks in the world is cutting credit cards, America lives on a debt-based credit card system. Oh, no, I'm not leaving this site. It's not there. Here. All right. Okay, let me pull this up. And not only is he doing this, he's doing this against the advice of his own. No, wrong one. He's doing it against the advice of his own people. Oh, yeah, this is it. Chase aims to end their $5 billion credit card business. And then the CEO will fire anyone who gets in the way. Why so dramatic? What does he know? And if Chase does that, what do you think the other banks are going to do? There must be a different business model or something why he's doing this. Then they came out and launched this. And we already read this. It took us 2 days to read this. JP Morgan. This is not a crypto entity writing about, hyping up something in the crypto space. Opportunities in the metaverse. How businesses can explore the metaverse and navigate the hype versus reality. This isn't an article about should we do the metaverse? Maybe let's see what the metaverse is. No. This is a blueprint. This is an endorsement. This is them coming out saying this is what we're doing. They created a company called Onyx by JP Morgan. The elements of a new digital age are converging at scale. Just that's the first sentence. The elements of a new digital age are converging at scale. The metaverse is driving force. The metaverse is the driving force, bringing these elements together in a unified immersive experience. Okay, even after reading this, I still didn't have my aha moment. I still didn't have the aha moment yet, but I was fascinated. I did this live in front of you guys. I was like, wait, we need to look more into this metaverse thing. Now, we've already been acting in the metaverse. I have an office in the metaverse with G-Meta, ILCA office inside the metaverse on voxels. I even did a speech inside the metaverse in the G-Meta arena a couple months ago. So it's not like the metaverse is new to me. It's not. I made a decision 2 years ago that I was going to be writing a course on the metaverse. So again, you know, you can hear something and be in something and the light bulb still not go off. Light bulb didn't go off yet. I read this whole article in front of you guys. But then earlier this week, it was Miguel Cryptos from G-Meta and Andy from G-Meta. Andy from the UK. Miguel, this is what I love the internet allows people from many different areas of the world to work together and collaborate. Miguel's in Mexico. Andy is in the UK. I'm in California. And they dropped this article on my lap. You know what this is? This is Citibank. Are you guys familiar with Citi? I have 2 Citibank credit cards. Citibank, one of the largest banking institutions in the world. They came out with this: Metaverse and money. Decrypting the future. When that happened, it's like somebody had their hand on the light switch on my brain, and my brain started buzzing. It didn't explode yet. Where is that? Well, like here, look at this. Have you ever had one of those aha light bulb moments when you realize your grasp of technology or lack thereof showed your age? One of those moments hit me like a ton of bricks this week when I was asked to create my own avatar for a presentation in the metaverse. My brain started buzzing even more. But then it was, let me see, where was that quote? Let's see, metaphors increasingly. This one right here. Just like in 1993, we couldn't tell how big the internet was and what it was exactly. This thing we are calling the metaverse is a continuation of that. It is going to be bigger than anything we have ever known. Vice President Technology at NVIDIA said this. Not some crypto guru. NVIDIA. It is going to be bigger than anything we have ever known. And let me stop right there. And let me take you down memory lane. I'm going to play a short video for you. Now, this is short, and you guys may recognize this. Take a look.
But, you know, I think about this, and what about this internet thing? Do you know anything about that?
Sure.
What the hell is that exactly?
Well, it's become a place where people are publishing information.
Right.
So everybody can have their own homepage. Companies are there. The latest information. It's wild what's going on. You can send electronic mail to people. It is the big new thing.
Yeah, but, you know, it's easy to criticize something you don't fully understand, which is my position here.
Go ahead.
But I can remember a couple of months ago, there was like a big breakthrough announcement that on the internet or on some computer deal, they were going to broadcast a baseball game. You could listen to a baseball game on your computer. And I just thought to myself, does radio ring a bell? You know what I mean?
There's a difference.
There is a difference.
It's not a huge difference.
What is the difference?
But you can listen to the baseball game whenever you want.
Right.
Too.
Oh, I see. So it's stored in one of your memory deals.
Exactly.
And then you can come
That's
back
the
a year
RAM
later.
thing you talked about earlier.
Yeah. Do tape recorders ring a bell? Yeah, guess I just don't know. What can you, just knowing me the little you know me now, what am I missing here? What do I need?
Well, if you want to learn about the latest cigars or auto racing statistics.
Well, I've got that covered. I subscribe to 2 British magazines devoted entirely to motorsports, and I call the Quaker State Speed Line about 2 times a half hour. So now, would the computer give me more than I'm getting that way?
Oh, you could find other people who have the same unusual interests you do. And
You mean the troubled loner chat room on the internet?
absolutely.
I think one day I'll get one of these deals, but I've played with them, and then you type it in, and then you get that thing, that little arrow. Is that the arrow
You bet.
And then it's just, it's like, oh, I get it. It's an eye test. What do we?
All right. You guys remember what life was like before 1995 and the internet? Do you remember what you were doing in 1995? I do. I was a freshman, sophomore at Morehouse College at that time. I didn't have a computer in my dorm room yet. If we wanted a computer, we had to go down to the computer lab. There was no real internet. There was an intranet connection connecting the computers in the computer labs together, but no real internet. I think at home, my parents started to have AOL dial-up internet. But knowing what you know now, if you went back in time, would you do anything different in 1995? Knowing what you know now about the internet? Or better, another question is, can we agree that the internet has completely transformed our society in the past, what is that, almost 30 years? Wow, that's almost 30 freaking years ago. No, not 30 years, 20 plus years ago. Can we agree? Oh yeah, almost 30 years ago, that the internet has drastically changed society in the past 30 years. Oh, wow, Dave. Yeah, we would pray for a speedy recovery for your wife. Dislocated shoulder. I know that hurts. Ooh. But I think we can agree that the internet has changed our life.
First, use your fingerprints to unlock the device.
No, I'm not talking to you. So let me share screen again. If we can agree, and I don't think, we don't even need to agree to it. It's a fact. And then we look at this statement. Just like in 1993, we couldn't tell how big the internet was and what it was exactly. This thing we are calling the metaverse is a continuation of that. It is going to be bigger than anything we have ever known. So I have auditory processing disorder. Sometimes things hit me a little bit slowly, right? And then sometimes at the same time, an explosion happens in my head. And adding JP Morgan, Citibank, and then I started to Google, looking some things up. And I found that Bank of America, Wells Fargo, HSBC, US Bank, even the IMF, Federal Reserve, all of them is laser focused on the metaverse. And then I went back to the top of this and saw metaverse and money, river of money, decrypting the future. Game over. Lightning bolt went off of my head, just like it did in 2017. And when it happened in 2017, changed my career 7 figures later, and I created my own company in crypto. What do you think this is going to do to me now as I get ready for 2023? But I like to teach. So knowing is one thing, applying it and taking action is another. So I'm just giving you a heads up right now. Everything that I do moving forward, even with ILCA, will always have the metaverse in mind, because everything is going to be flowing through the metaverse, through this. Now you just need to know, what is it? So those of you in our inner circle, we've been reading this article. We're 14 pages in. So since today is public, I'm not starting over. We're going to keep going from where we left off. Those of you that are not in the inner circle, when we stop this today and you want to continue going, you're more than welcome to join our inner circle, and we're going to pick it back up on Monday morning. Or you wait till next Saturday to see what page we're on by then, or you can read it by yourself. You know, some people are great reading it by themselves. Some people hate reading. They want somebody else to read it for them. That's what I'm here for. And not only do I read it, but I'm also giving my personal experience and context to what's going on. And sometimes I have like little mini aha moments while we're doing it. So right now we're going to continue, and we are on page 14 of this report. And for those who say, well, where do I get the report? Since I am streaming in multiple places, I can't post a link. Just Google the JPS, CITI GPS, Metaverse and Money. It'll pop up if you want to read it by yourself. All right. I could read this by myself, but I like doing it live in front of you guys. All right. So now we're on page 14. The metaverse is partly a dream of the future of the internet. Look at that. The future of the internet. And partly a neat way to encapsulate the current trends in online infrastructure, including the growth of real-time 3D worlds. The metaverse, historically and today. In the early 2000s, Second Life, how many of you had a character in Second Life? I did. Offered a virtual world for users to hang out together and buy, sell virtual items to each other without any goals or objectives, depicting a proto-metaverse, in the words of Matthew Ball. However, it failed to see mass adoption as it was complex, restricted to PC only, two-dimensional, and predated enabling technologies. In other words, it was ahead of its time. It just didn't have the technology to pull it off. Not like what we do now. By contrast, gaming environments like Roblox from 2004 and Fortnite 2017 boast hundreds of millions of users and offer users goals and objectives to achieve in a virtual gaming environment. Thank you, Marnita. Marnita pulled that up. Popular discussion around the metaverse exploded in October 2021. So we're talking about 1 year ago. 1 year from right now. Popular discussion around the metaverse, as highlighted by Google Trends data. Similarly, mentions of the term metaverse took off in U.S. company filings and earnings calls around November 2021. And remains at elevated levels today. Type in the chat box if you think you are very well versed in the metaverse. Or better yet, no. Say, not me. If this is all kind of still new to you, and I would type for me, not me too. I am not versed. I am aware of, but I don't have much experience with the I'm not Miguel and Sylvia. I didn't create a business yet in the metaverse. I have invested in Euphoria, G-Meta. I own tokens that are representing in the metaverse. But as far as, this, no. Yet American businesses exploded on this November 2021 and remains at elevated levels today. At a corporate level, the spike in interest was led by landmark announcements, including the late October 2021 rebranding of Facebook as Meta Platforms. At a popular culture level, growth of non-fungible tokens, NFTs, was fed by the increasing involvement of artists, actors, athletes, and other celebrities, some as paid sponsors in the space. Look at this spike. So search interest for the term metaverse using Google Trends from 2020 to 2022. Look at the spike in October of 2021. And then we've come down, it came down in March 2022. Company filings and earnings call for U.S. companies. October 21st, 2021 starts to spike. January, February of this year, 2022. Neil Stephenson famously coined the term metaverse in his 1992 science fiction novel, Snow Crash. So that's the first time it was really coined, 1992, to depict a 3D photoreal digital meeting space to which humans, represented by programmable avatars, interacted with one another. While lots of other science fiction media include metaverse-like systems, Stephen's Snow Crash book is the most common reference point. Coupled with Ernest Cline's 2011 novel, Ready Player One, if you haven't seen that movie, I highly recommend it. Don't look at it from an entertainment gaming perspective. Look at it for its applications on what that's going to do to our lives, what's possible. So where most of this action unfolds in a shared VR environment called the Oasis. The Oasis functions as a massively multiplayer online role-playing game and as a virtual community. Massively multiplayer online role-playing games are video games that are proto-metaverses, albeit centralized, without ownership, and not interoperable. What exactly is a metaverse, and how will we use it? The metaverse is partly a dream of the future of the internet, and partly a way to encapsulate current trends in online infrastructure, including the growth of real-time 3D worlds. VR and AR technology specifically should benefit many sectors, resulting in potentially more efficient processes, enhanced training, and improved collaboration. Gaming is viewed as a key metaverse use case for the next several years due to the current immersive and multiplayer experience of the space. But we believe, and remember, when they're saying we, who's we? JP Morgan. I got to always keep coming back to that. This is not some nerd gaming conference. This is not E3. This is not Comic-Con. This is not crypto. This is one of the largest banks in the world. But we believe the metaverse will eventually help us find new and enhanced ways to do all of our current activities, including commerce, entertainment, and media, education, and training. So again, when people say, Brandon, you said blockchain technology is going to disrupt. How's that? Well, let me break it down to even smaller, micro. Blockchain is the overall. It's the technology that's being used. The metaverse running on blockchain technology, okay, is going to enhance everything we are currently already doing. So people think, do I have to learn something new? No, you're already doing it. It's just going to enhance that. Activities like commerce, entertainment, education, training and manufacturing, and just enterprise in general. In other words, everything. In the coming years, we expect it to include internal collaboration, client contact, sales and marketing. What did I say the other day? I said that my CMO went down to an event in ClickFunnels, and you got a room full of the world's best marketers all in one spot. And nobody was mentioning anything about blockchain, crypto, or metaverse. I have a prediction. Next year's ClickFunnels event, you're going to hear a whole lot more about this space, especially metaverse, because look at what this is doing. Sales and marketing. If all eyeballs, if all traffic, if all businesses are now moving into the metaverse space the same way in the 90s where businesses realize if we don't have a presence in the internet, we're not going to have a business for long. And advertisers said we need to put our advertising dollars in front of where the people are going. And if the people are going to the metaverse, what do you think marketers better learn about? The metaverse. Whoever is, sometimes it's not knowing it, it's who's the first to do it. Advertising events and conferences, engineering and design, and workforce training, among other activities. I mean, I think this covers every single man, woman, and child on this planet is involved in some way, some of this. Every single one. The technology is also likely to have a significant positive impact on the healthcare and retail sectors. Telemedicine and the delivery of services outside large hubs should improve, thereby significantly flattening the challenge of distance. For the retail and fashion sectors, the metaverse is e-commerce 2.0, and embracing the new technology will be key. Do you understand how big this is? Fashion. I just finished, I'm almost finished, doing the next article, the next lesson, NFTs in fashion. I'll give you guys just a sneak peek. This is not released yet. Not released yet. Making NFTs work in fashion. And one of them I talked about what's going to happen with the metaverse. This is the future. You're going to have Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, and all of them are going to be doing stuff in the metaverse with their fashion. So imagine them doing their fashion shows in Paris and London and Beverly Hills, and you guys aren't able to physically be there. But what if you can virtually be there? What if you can virtually try on their clothes? What if you can virtually have a mirror in your home that's connected to the metaverse, that's connected to shops, and you can shop and stand in the mirror and the clothes, and you can see how it fits you. And then you can order it right then and there. Your mind is the only limit. Healthcare. If you can't make it to the doctor, but you can be virtual visit with the doctor. The doctor can be able to see far more patients. You don't have to wait in the waiting room. One thing is, I hate hospitals with a passion. Hate them. I was always in the hospital when I was a kid. Hated. So now I have a phobia against it. Hate hospitals. So telemedicine. Speaking of that telemedicine, hey guys, those of you, I got to sidetrack real quick before I forget about it. If you purchase nodes from Connect, like the bundle pack, new information just came out about the health node, Galvin. If you have not done so, make sure you log in and you've got your wallet set up. I actually forgot about this until I got the email. And I logged in and I realized I've been mining this all year, 673 pages, and I've been mining every day. It's been popping up. I've got 10.1 million Galvin tokens. 10.1 million. Now, what could this be worth? What if it comes out, let's say it just comes out at 4 cents. 416 times 4 cents. That's $400,000 worth. 2 cents, $200,000 worth. If it follows Gala, I gotta, if anybody knows, type it in the chat box how many tokens were going to be available, because that lets me know how high this could possibly get. But Gala got all the way up to 80 something cents. If this goes to 25 cents, I mean, this could be millions. And I paid, I think how much is a node worth now? $5,000 a node, $10,000 a node now. I don't know what I forgot. I don't know what the price is, but just giving you guys a heads up. Make sure if you've got the Galvin node, it used to be called Blue first, now it's Galvin. Make sure you can log in and you see. If I go to home, wallets, nodes. Yeah, it's online. I got my VPS set up. I only got one node. One node produces that. Some people have 5, 10 rewards, wallets. Yeah, make sure you see all of this. And make sure you've written down your 12 key phrase to recover. That's very, very important. All right, let me go back. Okay. Healthcare. Telemedicine and the delivery of services outside large hubs should improve, thereby significantly flattening the challenge of distance for the retail and fashion sectors. The metaverse is e-commerce 2.0. Let me stop right there. Do you know another company? I was a black diamond in the company. It was called Shopping Sherlock Nation. And what that was an app on your phone that you can go shopping with it. But if you go to the store and you see an item for sale, you actually can scan that item and the app will find the best price online that same exact item is being sold for, so that you can save your money. And then instead of spending all that money right there on the store, you can order it and you save money. It was all about e-commerce. So on YouTube, this is before I was in crypto. I have hundreds of videos about the e-commerce industry. In fact, back then, I used to do a version of what we call Crypto Talk Today, but I was reading about e-commerce articles and how e-commerce is the next thing. The death of the malls. Nobody's going to shopping malls anymore. It was all about e-commerce. What this is saying here, the metaverse is e-commerce 2.0. And embracing the new technology will be key. Again, who's saying this? JP Morgan. Embracing this new technology. In other words, if you don't embrace this new technology, you're not going to survive. The metaverse will require countless new technologies and infrastructure to come together, including applications around Web3, DeFi, and NFTs. Now, I'm already writing the courses on NFTs and DeFi. I'm going to have to write a course on Web3. So once I finish the Metaverse, NFT, and DeFi, this is next on the docket, Web3. And mining protocols. This makes it difficult to exactly quantify the capital expenditure needed for the Metaverse, but we expect it to be large. Again, when you hear we, that's Jamie Dimon. There is less consensus currently around design choices pertaining to the metaverse. Should it be open, built on Web3 primitives, building blocks of permissionless and open protocols, or closed, built by the capital-efficient, easy-to-use Web2 platforms? Polygon co-founder Sandeep Nailwal believes Web3 and blockchain-based technologies will be part of the metaverse, saying, I estimate by 2025, 2 years from now, we could have at least 50 million users, possibly even 100 million in the blockchain space by possibly 100 million by 2030. I believe Web3 could take over the internet, even as Web2 continues to coexist. So it's just like when people ask, well, is crypto going to replace the dollar? No, they can work side by side. They can coexist. So he's saying that Web3, the metaverse, blockchain stuff will still coexist with Web2, the internet as we know it. Web3 powers the vision of a decentralized, blockchain-based open metaverse and is attracting a significant amount of investment in digital assets. Global venture capital funding to blockchain startups increased 7-fold in 2021. See, this is what I want to get into. I want to have a $10 million VC. that I can be putting into new projects coming in this space, finding the next Amazon, the next Netflix, the next YouTube, the next Facebook, the next Google, using blockchain technology. So look at this. Global venture capital funding to blockchain startups increased sevenfold in 2021 to $25.2 billion, and even more eyeballs in terms of social and cultural relevance. In an open metaverse world, and if I'm boring you, I pray for you. if you're not, it's okay not to get it. It's not okay to ignore it. Ignore this. There's a reason I'm reading us slowly, because I am immersing myself into this. I am what do you call it? A sponge right now. I did the exact same thing when I got excited about cryptocurrency and blockchain. So if you guys, well, Brandon, how did you do it back then? You're witnessing it right now. All right. This is what I did. So while you might be bored by all of this, my synapses are firing. Okay. In an open metaverse world, there is likely to be significant technological and business model disruptions. This new world would be, look at that word, this new world would be a blockchain-based ecosystem. Blockchain technology is going to disrupt every single industry on the planet. This new world would be a blockchain-based ecosystem, and Web3 native companies would challenge and perhaps overtake the current internet behemoths. So they are already predicting, I talked about the river of money. So think of, before the internet, who was king? Blockbuster. After the internet, who's king? Netflix. So all of the top internet, top businesses, okay, are going to be overtaken by the new Web3 blockchain-based companies. That should be an aha moment for a lot of you. In this world, value will be transferred in tokenized format. Now, we've been talking about tokenized lately. That's right. That's another, oh yeah, I wrote that down. That's another course I'm going to write. Tokenization. Everything's going to be tokenized. Everything. You're going to be tokenized. In this world, value will be transferred in tokenized format. Crypto, CDBCs, or stable coins would be the form factor of money. I say all of the above. When I see crypto, this is retail people's going to be using this. CDBCs, banking institutions and governments and stuff like that are going to be using this. Stable coins, the rich people, billionaires, are going to be using this. There's a reason for that. I might have to come up with a whole nother lesson just about those three. Ownership would be registered by NFTs or similar blockchain-based digital assets. This would be a big change from the current monetary and financial world. Now, this isn't some joker on the side of the street talking about this. This is the largest bank in the world saying this is going to be a big change from the current monetary and financial world. Now you see why they're getting involved in it. The river of money, the wealthy stay wealthy. I showed that quote that Melissa sent me from the UK about Warren Buffett. There's even a video, I forgot who posted the video about Warren Buffett said about the rich getting richer and staying rich. Okay. But are we anywhere close to a Web3 world? Is the technology ready? Will 5G be rolled out globally? Are the end use cases and applications developed? Are consumers ready? Self-sovereignty, digital ownership, and a borderless world are all attractive features. But Spoiler alert. Really? What spoiler alert? We are still very early in the journey, both technologically and from a user perspective, to a Web3 powered open metaverse world. Okay, I've got some good news for you, and I've got some bad news for you. The good news is we are so early in on this that you haven't missed out yet. The bad news is you now know about it. Well, Brandon, why is that bad news? Because if you don't do anything about it, for the rest of your life, you're going to remember that you were here at the beginning and you witnessed its development without taking action. And your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, because of social media, will be able to see exactly what you were doing during this time, during this revolution. We are living through a time that's going to be written about in the history books. But our descendants won't have to just rely on their history books. They can go into their own ancestors' history because everything we do is now recorded. And they can be like, wow, when the greatest shift in wealth was taking place, Pop Ivy was on some BS with TikTok videos. I'm not letting that be my legacy. You know, I want my descendants to know that I did everything in my power to try to make it for us during this revolution. Everything in my power I'm doing to my last breath, as hard as I possibly can with the resources I have available. That's what I want it to be known, that I tried. I can't guarantee what my success or failure is going to be, but I at least made sure I am positioned and I am active in this space. This is changing the world. All right, let me get off of that. So, we're still very early on. That critics maintain that it is a mirage. So, we got a bunch of David Lettermans out there right now. That metaverse ain't going to go nowhere. Crypto's nothing. Blockchain, government's going to shut it down. It's not doing anything. At the same time, the same bank that they put their money in is writing the letter, is writing this article. They're already in the metaverse. For the foreseeable future, most of us will live and work in a Web 2 or Web 2.5 world. We will experience Web 3 via Web 2 front ends. So that's the foreseeable future. The next few years will be ones of experimentation, adventure, trial and error. It's the wild, wild west. Many of us may buy VR headsets, like these big things here. These VR headsets. Stick this on the top of my head. I'm doing this. And by the way, this is not the metaverse. VR and AR will only be a small portion of the metaverse. The biggest portion of the metaverse is going to be used through this, your cell phone. This is going to be the biggest part of the metaverse. Most people will have access to it. Like the G Meta one, you don't need this to get in there. At the risk of skeuomorphic thinking, we believe mobile phones. Hey guys, remember, I don't read these articles beforehand. Look at this. We believe mobile phones will continue to be a gateway to the emerging metaverse world. And via our phones, most internet users will have access to metaverse-like experiences. This could number in the billions. For the foreseeable future, say up to 2025, Web3 users will likely number in the millions. As the technology evolves, we expect policy and regulation will play catch up. There is a lot to unpack about the internet age. Join us as we dive deep into all of these topics in this report. This is Jamie Dimon's company. They went deep on this. I'm all for it. All right. I'm keeping going. I love learning this stuff. I'm gonna keep going. I'll stop maybe in a little bit. External expert view. Or is this a good point to stop? I'll ask you guys. You want me to stop here and we'll pick it back up on Monday morning, or you got some more time? And I'll spend a couple more minutes on this last page. Type it in the chat box. Let me know. I'll let you guys tell me to keep going or stop. I won't be going long because I do have another call at the top of the hour saying keep going. Keep going. Continue. All right. I know I'm sounding like a nerd in all this stuff, but this also for me means a whole lot more of this. All right. All right. So we'll keep going. Copy and paste. Freeze 380. Well, you know what? I can post it because you are on YouTube. So if I post it here, this will pull post for YouTube for you. So you can see the article I'm using. If you want to go through this article by yourself, you're more than willing to go ahead and do so. All right. Okay, so we're diving into this. We're on page 17. All right. External expert view. Phil Chin on understanding the metaverse. Phil Chin is a founding partner of Race Capital and managing partner emeritus of Presence Capital. As the founding managing partner at Presence Capital, Phil has invested in over 40 metaverse-related companies over the past 6 years. Good grief. This dude got the aha moment a long time ago. 40 metaverse companies over the past 6 years? Phil is also an advisor and chief decentralization officer at HTC. Let's start with Metaverse 101. Okay, what is the metaverse? Answer. At a very high level, it is a mashup of the 3D immersive experience, the gaming part, the technical part, i.e. persistence, and the intersection of Web3 things. My favorite way to think about the metaverse is how Mark Zuckerberg described it as really just internet plus 3D, internet plus 3D, internet plus persistence, internet plus VR, AR. The metaverse is not a destination. Okay, you guys need to get this. I'd be getting this question all the time. How do I get to the metaverse? The metaverse is not a destination, but rather a point in time. Oh, wow. Wow, I like that. It's not a destination, but a point in time. Just as singularity is a point in time where artificial intelligence surpasses human intelligence, the metaverse is a point in time where people value digital assets more than physical. We've been talking about this. People start to value digital assets more than physical assets. I had this problem when I had my addiction to this game, Matrix Online. My virtual world and life, to me, was more valuable than my real life. Now, I'm not talking about more valuable than my kids. I'm talking about my accomplishments. I was in a very depressed state in those days. And I would come home from work and I would disappear in the Matrix. And I was wealthy. I was respected. I was one of the biggest leaders in the game. I was recognized. Like Roman Reigns always says, every city he goes to, acknowledge me. I was acknowledged. I walked into the game and I was a celebrity. Anytime I went in there, people were always running up and following me around and wanted to interact with my character, my avatar, which to me was me. And I remember being at work and having a crap shit day. And I'm like, I can't wait till I can get home and I can get in the Matrix. It was my escape. I valued what was going on there more than real life. Right now, I use Logan Paul, YouTube guy, as an example. Like, people like to walk around with bling, right? He's walking around with what looks like a backstage pass around his neck, but it's not a backstage pass. It's a representation of his $5 million NFT he bought. So he's walking around with $5 million around his neck. Digital. People are going to start, look at Ready Player One. Everybody was living in trailer parks, but they were living their best lives inside the oasis. And then the not too much of a spoiler alert, but one of the main themes at the end of the movie is like, don't forget to spend time in the real life, in the real world. You know, it's kind of the message that they were trying to say. All right, so the metaverse is not a destination, is a point in time. People are going to value digital assets more than physical assets. Real estate in the metaverse one day is going to be worth more money than real estate in the real world. Mark my word that I said that. Real estate in game is going to be worth more than real estate in the real world. Let me quantify that. I like to come with the receipts. I'm going to use common sense. McDonald's is in the real estate business. They've got the best property in the world because they're on the best street corners in every city, the best intersections. But if you have a physical place, you're limited to how much traffic is crossing in front of your business. But what if you have digital real estate where instead of having, let's say, 50,000 people traffic across your business on a daily basis, since it's virtual, you might be able to have 50 million go across your business on a daily basis because of where you're located in the metaverse. Which property has more value? The one with 50,000 eyeballs or the one with 50 million? So if the one that's getting 50 million traffic on a daily basis decides to sell that plot of land in the metaverse, and then the one on, like I live in Laverne, let's see, McDonald's is on White and Foothill. Great location because the freeway's right there, the 210. If they both decided to sell, which one's going to be worth more? The one with 50,000 eyeballs or the one with 50 million? All right, does that make sense? Okay. See here, metaverse is a destination. You can broaden that to digital experiences and digital relationships as well. That's another thing. Digital relationships. I am perplexed by these kids today, how they socialize with each other as compared to when I was a kid. You know, there was no internet. We didn't have pagers. I mean, both of our parents had to work. So we were basically on our own for most of the day after school. Go outside and play till the street lights come on. We played with our friends. We had ice cream money and that was it. And with no tracking devices, our parents had no idea where we were. They just knew where we were supposed to be at certain times. And they would get worried if we weren't there at that time. They knew at 12 o'clock, we'd come in the house for lunch. We better be home for dinner. We better be in the house before the street lights come on. So it was points of the day where our parents were aware of our whereabouts. Anywhere in between, it was no holds barred. We did whatever the hell we wanted to do. Unless we got caught. This generation of kids, like we've got the LA County Fair. And one of the things I love to people watch. And before COVID, I remember I think I was live doing this. And I was sitting there because I was manning a booth that we had for our SEAM organization. And I'm just watching the crowd. And there was a crowd of kids. And they were all friends and boyfriend, girlfriend. Some of them were holding hands. But in their other hand, they all had their cell phone. And they were all on the cell phones. And then I could tell they were texting each other. I'm like, he's right there. And they're texting each other instead of talking. And I can't tell you how many times there was like an electric cord across that had big tape over it. So if you're looking down, you step over it. But since their heads are on the phone, every time, boom, trip over it, boom, trip over it. And I used to get a kick out of that, watching people bust their ass because they're not paying attention. But this new generation, they socialize different. Their relationships are different. And relationships digitally is real. When I was in the Matrix Online, I had a in-game wife and like 6 girlfriends. And they weren't just imaginary. There was a real person on the other side of that, because we used to have microphones and using Skype to talk to each other. It was real. So this is going to be interesting thing to study, digital relationships. How do Web 3 and the Metaverse overlap? Web 1 refers to the AOLs and emails of the world. Remember that? Web 2, as we know it today, is about companies like Meta, Google, and others with a lot of interactions, algorithms, and social media. So that's Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. All of that stuff is considered Web 2. Where Web 1, companies had an internet presence, a website for their companies. Web 2, you have an internet presence. You have a social media profile. You have a place that people can come to see all about you without you having to create your own website. Does that make sense? You guys understanding that difference? Web 2, let me see there. Okay. Web 3 is a reaction to the centralization caused by Web 2. Okay, so Web 3 is a reaction to the centralization. Centralization of data is a fundamental problem, not just to technology, which means all those pictures and everything that you're sharing on Facebook, you don't own that. Facebook does. But people want to own their own content. So centralization of data is a fundamental problem, not just to technology, but also to society, politics, and religion. Web 3 focuses on decentralization and being open, censorship resistant, borderless, and permissionless. In Web 3, people should own their data and digital assets. So yet you guys should really get that now. You know what Web 1 is, what Web 2 is, and now Web 3. The original promise of the internet was for it to be open. But in reality, we live in different walled gardens. The internet is quite closed. Big techs, in a sense, have created walled gardens as they manage the social data feeds of 3.5 billion people. They are the only ones with access to the algorithms of what is seen and clicked on. Okay, another question. Define the target addressable market for the metaverse. How is it likely to change in the next 5 to 10 years? Okay. If you think of the metaverse as a rebranding of VR, AR, and limit its use cases to gaming, the VR, AR hardware could reach out to about 200 million users globally. However, if the metaverse is widely adopted, just like the mobile phone is today, we are more in the range of 5 billion worldwide. See that difference? If we're looking at this as the metaverse, 5 billion. If you're just looking at this, 200 million. In my opinion, the potential market size based on the number of pieces of hardware will likely be bigger than the gaming console market, but not as big as a mobile phone market. The future of the metaverse is on multiple devices, i.e. Internet Plus. To hit mass market, I estimate we need about 1 billion users to adopt metaverse hardware. What are the key aspects to look out for in the metaverse? I think the first thing is NFTs. There you go. And I'm writing the courses on that right now. NFTs. You guys want to see some of the topics? Yeah, I'll give you some of the topics.
What's coming? We got, what are NFTs? NFTs for beginners. Examples of NFTs. How to buy, sell, and trade NFTs. Creating your own NFT. NFT marketplace. How to use OpenSea. What is voxels? NFTs for journalism. NFTs in digital art. And I'm just finishing NFTs in fashion. So I'm on the right track here. Look at what this says. I believe we will soon start seeing every company doing NFTs. Every company. Do you think you might need to know about NFTs? If you're working a 9-to-5 job right now and you don't believe in blockchain, you don't believe in crypto, you don't believe in Bitcoin or none of that stuff, but then your company is doing NFTs. You don't have a say-so in that. They're already predicting it. And it said, and look what he says, we will soon start seeing, not long way down the line. The second key development to look out for is around cryptocurrency regulations. There is still quite a lot of debate on how cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum should be classified. Is it a security, a commodity, or property? I believe there will be a lot of auxiliary effects on how this space is regulated. What are the building blocks for the metaverse? How much will it cost? I believe compute power will definitely increase, but the more pertinent question relates to what kinds of things will people do with the metaverse? Honestly, we do not know that yet. The capital expenditure requirements in computing can be very high. Looking at the CAPEX requirements for the metaverse, we must consider not just the metaverse, but also all the applications around artificial intelligence, autonomous driving, robotics, Web3, DeFi, NFT, etc., and include mining protocols for things like Bitcoin. That is very big, what he just said there. What is the likely killer app use case for the metaverse? Let me illustrate a few interesting use cases for the metaverse. Startup Applied VR is pioneering evidence-based immersive VRX, a new category of prescription digital therapeutics. The company aims to treat chronic pain without the use of drugs, but instead using VR to focus on the visual cortex and alter the patient's focus. The company recently ran a trial on a woman during childbirth at Cedars-Sinai that's where I was born, Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in the US, where the procedure was successfully conducted with a manageable level of pain and without the need for an epidural. Really, women? Women, are you hear that? Let me read that part one time. The company recently ran a trial on a woman during childbirth, where the procedure was successfully conducted with a manageable level of pain and without the need for an epidural. Any of you women give birth without the epidural? Likewise, also VR is a surgical training and assessment platform that gives medical device companies and healthcare professionals radically better ways to share, practice, and learn new skills, procedures using immersive 3D technology. Near term, I believe the killer Web3 apps will be NFTs and DeFi. The next two courses I have. I believe we are likely to see a combination of these gain prominence in 2022. How important is VR to the metaverse? Does current generation hardware pose limitations? Where are major investments being made in the space? I would not classify the metaverse as purely VR AR, but it is definitely one strand of it. For instance, Oculus sold nearly 10 million units in December of 2021. This is surely interesting. This is Oculus right here. But it still represents a niche. Instead, I believe we need to consider the following. What is the underlying growth trend in the number of VR AR hardware units sold? And how much time are users usually spending on it? Is it 15 to 20 minutes or an hour? Now, with this device, I couldn't go more than 30 minutes with it on. I started getting headaches and all that stuff. Presently, users spend close to 6 to 8 hours on their mobile phones on a daily basis. I would venture that number is higher, 6 to 8 hours. I think it's much higher than that. Do you guys go anywhere without your cell phone, including the bathroom? No, it's like an extension of your body part. Your cell phone goes with you everywhere. Nearly 80% of the hardware for VR, AR headsets is similar to that for mobile phones. Given the scale at which mobile phones are manufactured, we can surely reuse those parts. For the remaining 20%, the most significant hardware components include optics and technologies such as inside-out tracking and hand gesture pattern recognition. Hand gesture, so it's like Tony Stark stuff from Iron Man. Investments are being made in companies building the optics with a focus. Oh, I caught that. Investments. So you want to look at something to invest? Invest in the companies building the optics with a focus on divergence accommodation, i.e., how can your eyes and lens focus on different depths of field? Big techs are also filing several patents around facial recognition and eye tracking, how people are feel, think, and react to what they are seeing. All right, I think that's a good stopping point. So we can stop right on page 20. Wow. So on Monday, we're going to start off on page 20, Metaverse 101. What is the metaverse? The metaverse can be thought of as one conceptual, the next iteration of the internet, supporting a collection of real-time applications and experiences across devices. Can't get a better definition than that. So we're going to cover that on Monday. But every time I am, look at this. Every time I'm learning more, I'm getting blown away more and more and more. Someone says, is that why Schwab says we will own nothing and be happy in the New World Order? Oh, that's going down a different rabbit hole. As soon as they digitize money, that's the answer, because we don't have control of our money anymore unless you have crypto. They control your money. Anyways, I hope you guys learned something new. As always, that's the point. I invite you guys to be a part of our journey. I'm taking the ILCA community with me on this journey because I'm going on this journey. I'm going on the journey. I'm just doing it live in front of everybody and documenting it. This evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, I'm going to be doing a special presentation to show how you can be a part of the ILCA community, get plugged in to learn about marketing and how to make money. If you want to make some money with our community, I'm going to be doing that tonight. It will be streamed live. Yeah, I'll be doing it streamed live just like this for everybody. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And if you want to continue with us, the series on the metaverse, you've got to be a part of our inner circle. If not, you got to wait till next Saturday. And next Saturday, I don't know what page we might be. We might be on page 50 by then. So you would have missed all the stuff beforehand. But if you want to be a part of that, you go to ilcasecrets.com, ilcasecrets.com, and register to be in our inner circle. You'll be invited to our special Telegram group where you can keep up with our community, and a special Facebook group where I do the Inner Circle Crypto Talks every Monday through Thursday, and we have it on Zoom as well. So you can get on Zoom or Facebook to watch that, but it's only for the Inner Circle. You see where we left off with. We're going to be on page 20 for Monday. Plus, we're going to see what's going on in the crypto space and what the markets are looking like, and if there's any more diamonds in the rough. I know I wrote down the other day, I wrote down 2 tokens to watch for, and I can't say it here because that's for the Inner Circle. I got it here. Yeah, watch that. Watch that. Oh, I haven't had watch and invest in
and I can't tell you the name. That's for the inner circle. So if you guys are in the inner circle, you get all this stuff. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Anytime I want to feel good and pump myself up, this is the right space at the right time. Take care, everybody. I will see you all tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Bitcoin Brandon out. Bye-bye.